Hi, I'm Jamie Patterson. I am a master level technician here at Stormy Hill Harley-Davidson. Been with this dealership pretty much since they opened. Was just up in Milwaukee last week learning about the new motorcycle LiveWire.
And I'm JR, been in the industry about 34 years, been here at the dealership 6 years, and I too went up to Milwaukee to learn about the LiveWire and have the opportunity to ride the bike. Jamie was on the technical side and I was on the sales side, so combined between the two of us, we hopefully have all the answers that you will be asking. Jamie, what do you think of it?
All around, it's an excellent motorcycle. From an engineering standpoint, as a technician, being able to work on it, it's a very well put together motorcycle. And as far as the riding goes, oh my God. I have never ridden anything like this before. And it was very impressive. It exceeded expectations. It definitely, I mean, just the thought of, knowing you can go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and being actually able to do it are two completely different things. I actually went through all the riding modes and could tell the difference between each one. And it was just, I don't know, the motorcycle is just, it's a whole new experience. Like the response on it, especially if you're in sport mode, is instantaneous. Because this thing has traction control, you're not really going to spin out or pop a wheel or anything like that. But you're the only thing keeping you in that seat when you crack that throttle. So if you're not expecting it, it'll definitely catch you unawares. But as far as handling goes and response, I mean, the bike handles it well. The braking is excellent. The way that the chassis works, the suspension system. I mean, we were running on the streets of Milwaukee. It's a northern town, potholes and stuff everywhere. The roads are in rough shape, and you really didn't feel it. Yes, you could tell you were going over holes and stuff, but it wasn't sharp or jarring. Normally I ride a 1984 Ironhead Sportster or a 1992 FXR. So, I mean, you're talking apples and oranges here. Two completely different beasts. Overall, I would say that the LiveWire is superior, just as far as its riding and its handling, and just fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Ironhead, I love my FXR, but I would definitely have one of these things.
My experience was a little bit different. I didn't play around with the modes. I just kept it in sport mode, being the goofball that I am. And I'm going to tell you, this is it is the most advanced, engineered, well-tuned, responsive vehicle, be it car, be it motorcycle, that I have ever had the experience or the pleasure to ride. It is an absolute incredible machine. It is tuned beyond comparison to anything else. When we originally had gone up to Milwaukee, we had a slight bit of training about the bike, and it was exciting. It was something different. To say that I was sold on it would probably be a little overzealous. The first day we learned about the bike, we had the opportunity to ride it, and after I got off that bike, it was game on. It was absolutely incredible. You have to feel what we're trying to portray to you on what this motorcycle is all about. It is a very controlled, very quick, very responsive, very well engineered ride. And as soon as you get the first 100 yards on the bike, you can feel it, whether you're in the throttle or whether you're not. Very low center of gravity, very easy to ride, a lot less braking, a lot more throttle management, a lot less mechanical parts to worry about as far as the technical side, like Jamie's talking about. We're not adjusting clutches, we're not wearing things out that are normal that we have for the last 100+ years. This bike is definitely the wave of the future, and it's a refreshing look with what's coming down the pipeline from Harley-Davidson. I think the first thing that the new rider, and when we're talking new rider, new to the sport, would notice is that it is something that is unfamiliar to what they've started out on or what they've learned on. And that's the same as an experienced rider also. This is a totally different, it's a new dawn. It's the riding capabilities. I feel personally that it enhances your personal abilities as a rider because it's so much easier to ride. The bike itself is very responsive. Not only, again, you hear us talking about acceleration, but also decel and cornering, slow speeds, high speeds. It handles the same. It's a bike that you can actually tune the suspension to your type of riding, which we have not had before. It's a very advanced machine, but yet it's very simple. So they've taken the guesswork basically out of the motorcycle riding.
The older crowd may not care for it too much just because it's so far outside of the realm of what they're used to. I know for me, getting on it and powering it up, I mean, you're so used to hearing the sound of the engine, you're so used to hearing the vibration. And was this thing if you're sitting still, the only way you know that you're in what they call propulsion mode is it has what they call a haptic feedback. So you actually feel it feels almost like a heartbeat coming up through the seat. And that's really the only way you know that when you twist that throttle, you're going to move. Not having to use a clutch, not having to shift. I know during my ride, there were a couple times when I was reaching for a clutch or was wanting to downshift and didn't need to. I barely used the brakes on that thing. So I think a new rider will have an easier time with it. But older riders, more experienced riders, once they get past that initial confusion, I guess you would call it, or just lack of the feedback that they're used to, they'll have a blast. Like this is I am so impressed with this machine. I've never been this impressed with a machine as I have with this one. The engineering, the performance, just the layout of the bike. Yes, it's a sport bike, but it's actually comfortable to ride. The way everything is set up. And from a technician standpoint, it's easy to work on. I mean, not easy to the point where it's a DIY thing, but as a professional technician for this thing's its own diagnostic tool. Yes, there are services that we have to do on it, perform on it. We'll still have to do tire changes and belt changes, things of that nature. But as far as having to do something major, it's not as complicated as say one of the regular Harleys.
Portion of the electric motor, you always have a current running through it. So as an experienced rider, you would know that when you come to a stop and you're in a slow position, you have a few RPMs going on with your motor today, the motor today, the gas-powered motor, which acts as a gyro and keeps you square, keeps you able to sit still without having to put your feet down. It enables a longer time, basically, sitting still. With this electric motor, with the constant gyration that the actual motor feet itself has, and with the low center of gravity because the weight of the batteries and the actual chassis of the bike being designed around the batteries, the suspension, the front neck, the rear swing arm, everything's designed directly over those batteries themselves. The slow speed maneuverability is incredible. It's got a 45-degree lean angle to it. So it's a situation that when you're sitting still, you're sitting still. When you're getting after it through a corner, underneath acceleration or even deceleration, you have plenty of room to correct or remap basically your riding habits. It makes you a better rider. It's as simple as that. It demands you to pay attention to the bike. And with that being said, you have a different ride. It's a totally different aspect. The first block we took it, totally different. Like Jamie said, you get onto the throttle and you don't hear anything. You hear the small whine out of the motor. It's not that we're sitting there and we've got big camshafts that we're used to, loud exhaust, and everything that we have become accustomed to on the Harley side. This is something that is new to everybody. It's going to be a different era, basically. We had talked about who we see as being a owner of this motorcycle, who would purchase this motorcycle. And Harley has its demographics of what we're trying to achieve. But they'll tell you as well as I will, we don't know. A true performance enthusiast that is a Harley-Davidson rider today would absolutely be amazed at what this bike does. So is it the younger crowd that's trying to go after, or is it the guy that's an experienced rider that's looking for something different, that's looking to add a second or third bike to the garage, that's looking for the state of the art? We don't know yet. It is open to everybody because everybody can ride this. It's a new day, it's a new era, it's a new dawn. It's something that Harley's adding to the line. You get a little bit of feedback from customers coming in, and some of it's positive and some of it's negative. What's Harley doing? It's an electric bike. We've always had gas-powered bikes. Please remember that this bike is adding to the lineup. It's a different clientele. It is, and I'm going to use this phrase, it is the CVO of electric bikes. It does what no other bike will do. And again, that's part of the Harley-Davidson philosophy. We're always on top. They've brought out a winner straight out of the gate. And I've said it 3 times now, it's a new era, it's a new dawn. It's something different that we haven't had in the past that we can add to the collection and enjoy that line that much more. We'll have new people into the family, into the Harley-Davidson family. When you buy a Harley-Davidson, you're not only buying a piece of machinery, you're buying American tradition and philosophy. We've got some people out there that have had the opportunity to experience the Harley-Davidson lifestyle. And this will bring them into the family. Might be a situation that they're looking for something different. They're looking for the state of the art. They want the first that's out. And then they understand it's not just buying a machine, it's being part of the experience, the American icon that's been built over 117, 118 years. It's an opportunity for everybody to experience what Harley's all about. I've been riding 42 years, been in the business 34 years. Jamie's been riding when they had rock wheels. It was square at first, and then he's not old. He's not old.
I've been riding since, since the late 70s.
It's a huge, it's a new revelation, basically.
Anything for which is what they call the motor.
The revelation is called the motor, you're right.
And it's a true motor. It's an electric motor. So Harley-Davidson can actually say, yes, they are the motor company. So, I think John Cleese from Monty Python said it best. And now, something completely different.
So, super positive reviews. I'm anxious for people to be able to feel for themselves and let us know what they're thinking. It's a huge eye-opener. It really is. When they first came out, again, my career started out when the Evo was introduced. Riding shovelheads, and the Evo was introduced, and I thought the world came to an end. What in the world are they doing? The Evo turned out to be one of the best motors they've ever produced. It runs underneath water, and you can't kill it. And then the Twin Cam came out, and I thought, what in the world are they doing? Love the Twin Cam, it was a phenomenal motor. Milwaukee 8 came out. You can see the combination of the two, the positives on each side of it, and it's been a freaking awesome motor itself. So turn negatives into positives. When the LiveWire was first introduced, and they've been working on it for over 5 years in the public's eye, I thought, what more? Who in the world would buy one of these? And as the progression of the bike carried on, and as the research and development went into it, and as the bits and pieces that we received from the dealership were introduced to us, curiosity came into play. After this trip to Milwaukee to see actually what the bike has developed into through everybody's feedback, and to see the pants effect that you feel with this bike, it's a winner. There's no doubt it's a winner.
During the test ride, and they had us test ride in groups, and every group that came back, everybody had these huge grins on their faces. And then when I went on my test ride, if we're sitting in the light, yes, we could hear the guy that was taking us around on his bike, but everybody else was quiet, and you could actually hear guys laughing, because this was so new, and it was such a great experience. I mean, when we came back, like I said, everybody was wearing this big old grin. And I'm sure it was like that when JR came back from his.
The thing, the point to be made here is the only people that were able to go for this testing, for this training, and to ride the bike were master mechanics. So they have years and years and years of experience, and to hear the feedback of the guys that worked on the summer hits and that have pan hits in the garage that are playing around and have been through the dealership for years and have been through all the training for that kind of feedback from the technical side, let alone the sales side. Everybody in the sales side had to be a master certified salesperson. There was nothing negative. Everybody came back and just sort of took a big breath and looked at each other and went, wow. And I think you'll feel the same once you have the opportunity to ride the bike.
Absolutely.
Working right here. Stormy Hill Harley-Davidson, right here in Clermont, Florida. Taking pre-orders. We've got 2 coming in September is the release date on them. We're only going to be getting 80 a year. There's only 100 plus dealers that are getting them across the United States. Not every dealer is getting them because this motorcycle is through and through Harley-Davidson. Again, it's a totally different experience. It's added to the collection of Harley, not taken away from. And between the automotive technology and the batteries, between the only bike that's got a DC charge that will charge from 0% to 80% in 40 minutes for everyday use, for ease. There is no bike that's even close to what this bike is capable of doing, and that it does. There's in the marketplace already. There's a battery phobia called for length of time. I can only go 140 some odd miles on the bike itself. Well, if you take a Sportster 48 with a small tank, you're running 82 miles per gallon. So you have to refill a gas-powered motor just like you have to refill the electric motor. Other than it almost doubles the life of that 48.
Again, the batteries that are being used in the LiveWire are already proven. They're in use today in the automotive. Battery system itself comes with a 5-year warranty from the manufacturer, not from Harley-Davidson, but from the battery manufacturer. There's just so many things about this bike that are a complete departure from what we're used to. This bike will talk to you. It will communicate with you over your cell phone. It will let you know what its state of health is. It will let you know if it needs to be charged or if somebody moves it. It will let you know if somebody moves it. If there's a theft attempt or if somebody actually does steal the thing, it'll tell you where it's at. There's just so many things with this motorcycle that are groundbreaking, especially for us. And the fact that we're the first major motorcycle manufacturer to do this, that's huge. It's huge.
It's the cream of the crop. Nothing has been shortchanged on this motorcycle. If you sat down and said, I want to build a motorcycle with the best components and the best manufacturers in the world, Harley has done.
Shallow braking, or shallow suspension system, Brembo braking system, which Harley's been using for years. But these are the top of the line items. So, again, overall, this is an amazing motorcycle. I think whoever buys this thing is going to be extremely happy with their purchase. Absolutely.